Sometimes the mirror startles you, not because of wrinkles or gray hair, those physical changes you've come to accept. No, what catches you off guard is the depth in your own eyes, the quiet, knowing that wasn't there in youth. You see traces of every joy, every heartbreak, every moment of surrender etched into your face. And you wonder, is this what Carl Jung meant when he spoke of the soul's journey through time? You used to think aging was just about loss, losing your looks, your energy, your relevance in a world obsessed with youth. But now, you're discovering something profound. With each passing year, as your attachment to external identity falls away, your inner light grows stronger. The soul is revealing itself through the cracks of your weathered exterior. Remember how desperately you tried to be someone in your younger years, always performing, competing, seeking validation through achievement and appearance. You wore so many masks back then, contorting yourself to fit others' expectations, exhausting yourself trying to matter in all the wrong ways. But time has a way of stripping away pretense. Like waves smoothing a jagged stone, the years have worn down your sharp edges. The persona you crafted so carefully, that false self designed to win approval, has begun to crumble. And in its place, something authentic is emerging. Something that was there all along, waiting patiently beneath the surface. Society taught you to fear this unraveling, to fight against time's steady march with creams and procedures and desperate attempts to stay forever young. But what if aging isn't your enemy? What if it's actually an initiation, a sacred process of becoming more essentially yourself? The exhaustion you feel isn't just physical. It's the fatigue of maintaining illusions that no longer serve you. The anxiety isn't about getting older. It's about finally facing the truth of who you are beneath all the roles you've played. The loneliness? That's your soul calling you home to yourself. As Jung observed, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. But he never said it would be comfortable. This is why aging often feels like a confrontation, because it demands radical honesty. It asks you to release who you thought you needed to be and embrace who you actually are. You see it in your changing priorities. The things that once seemed so crucial, status, achievement, others' approval, hold less power now. You're no longer willing to abandon yourself to please others. Your energy is too precious to waste on performative living. There's a growing hunger for depth, for meaning, for genuine connection with yourself and with life itself. This is the soul's timing. While the ego races against the clock, the soul knows exactly when to initiate its deeper work. The very things your culture dismisses as signs of decline, the slowing down, the introspection, the withdrawal from surface living, are actually invitations to profound transformation. Your dreams have changed too. Not the ambitious goals of youth, but actual night dreams, rich with symbols and ancestral wisdom. Your unconscious mind is speaking more clearly now, sending messages about who you're becoming. Pay attention to these dreams. They're maps for the journey ahead. As your outer world naturally contracts, your inner world expands. You find yourself drawn to silence, to nature, to simple moments of presence. The quiet joy of watching birds at dawn, the peace of sitting with your own thoughts without needing to fill the space. These aren't signs of giving up on life. They're signs of finally living from your depths. Jung wrote, "The afternoon of life is just as full of meaning as the morning, only its meaning and purpose are different. You're discovering this truth in your bones. The first half of life was about building an identity, achieving goals, making your mark. But this chapter, it's about something far more precious. It's about coming home to your soul. Notice how your relationships are shifting. You have less patience for superficial connections, but more capacity for genuine intimacy. You're learning to love differently, not from need or habit or social obligation, but from a deeper well of understanding. Even solitude feels different now, less lonely, more spacious, filled with presence. Your body is changing, yes, but it's also becoming a more sensitive instrument. You feel things more acutely, both pain and beauty. Colors seem more vivid. Music moves you to tears more easily. Simple pleasures feel more profound. This isn't decline. It's a refinement of consciousness. Your soul is teaching you to experience life more fully through the very vehicle of your aging form. The losses are real. There's no denying that. But with each letting go, something essential is clarified. Like trees in autumn, you're shedding what no longer serves your growth. And in the bare branches of your being, there's a stark beauty, a clear view of what matters most. You're learning to trust this process, even when it's uncomfortable, to welcome the questions that arise in the middle of the night, to sit with the uncertainty of becoming. Your soul isn't interested in neat answers or finished products. It speaks in mysteries and paradox, in the wisdom of not knowing. There's a line from Jung that resonates differently now. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Aging is bringing unconscious patterns into sharp relief. The ways you've abandoned yourself, the old wounds you've carried, the unlived aspects of your life, all rising to the surface, asking to be seen, understood, integrated. This is soul work. It's not always pretty or peaceful. Sometimes it arrives as crisis, as illness, as loss. But even these difficult initiations carry hidden gifts. They crack open the shell of who you thought you were, releasing something more authentic, more aligned with your deeper truth. You're beginning to understand that your worth isn't in what you do or how you look or what others think of you. It never was. Your value is intrinsic, not earned through achievement or preserved through eternal youth, but inherent in your very being. This is what your soul has been trying to teach you all along. The mirror shows you something different now. Beyond the physical changes, you see decades of love and loss, courage and surrender, all the ways you've been shaped by time's patient hand. There's a dignity in this face that no amount of anti-aging cream could create. The dignity of a life fully felt, of a soul gradually claiming its true expression. This is what aging reveals about the soul. It was never lost, never diminished, never in need of improvement. It was simply waiting for you to wear through all your pretenses, to exhaust your strategies of control and achievement, to finally become quiet enough to hear its steady voice. Your soul speaks in the language of time, not chronological time with its relentless forward march, but sacred time, soul time, the slow ripening of wisdom and self-knowledge. Each gray hair, each line on your face, each limitation of the aging body is part of this holy language. They're not signs of decline, but markers of initiation into deeper mysteries. Jung reminded us that the greatest tragedy of the family is the unlived lives of the parents. But you're choosing differently. You're allowing yourself to be changed by time, to be stripped of pretense, to finally live from that quiet center that has been waiting so patiently for your return. This is your soul's season. The culture may worship youth, but your inner knowing has a different message. You are exactly on time. Everything, the losses and gains, the wisdom and wounds, the strength and surrender, all of it has been preparation for now, for this exquisite unfolding of your truest self. You're not aging, you're becoming. Each day brings you closer to the essence of who you are, who you've always been beneath the masks and roles and careful performances. This is what your soul has been waiting for, this gentle surrender into authenticity, this graceful letting go of all that isn't truly yours. The mirror reflects something profound now, not just a face marked by time, but a soul gradually revealing itself through the very process you once feared. And in that reflection, you finally recognize yourself, not as you wish to be, but as you truly are. This is the gift of aging, the slow, beautiful unveiling of your essential nature, the quiet triumph of soul over pretense, the deepening mystery of becoming more fully human with each passing year. This is your journey now, not forward into endless achievement or backward in yearning for lost youth, but inward into the rich territory of the soul. And in this territory, every line on your face is a story worth telling, every limitation a doorway to deeper wisdom, every moment an opportunity to finally, fully become yourself. And in this deepening, something unexpected emerges, a profound sense of freedom. The freedom that comes when you no longer need to prove your worth or compete for attention. The soul doesn't play those games. It exists in a different economy altogether, where presence matters more than performance, where being carries more weight than doing. You notice it in small moments, how you can sit in silence without reaching for your phone, how you can listen to others without needing to fix or advise, how you can stand in nature and feel completely at home in your own skin. These aren't signs of withdrawal from life. They're signs of finally living from your center. The dreams that visit you now carry different messages. Gone are the anxious dreams of being unprepared, of missing trains, of showing up naked to important meetings. In their place come images of ancient houses, deep waters, unknown rooms, and familiar buildings. Your unconscious is speaking in the language of depth, showing you the vast territories within that are still waiting to be explored. Jung understood this. He wrote about the second half of life as a time when the psyche naturally turns inward, seeking not external achievements, but internal treasures. The very symptoms that our youth-obsessed culture labels as problems, the slowing down, the need for solitude, the decreased interest in surface pursuits, are actually signals of this sacred turning. You're learning to trust these signals. When fatigue hits, instead of fighting it with caffeine and willpower, you listen to what it might be telling you. When sadness surfaces, rather than pushing it away with busyness or distraction, you sit with it, curious about its message. Your body has become your teacher, and aging is its curriculum. The relationships in your life are being refined by this new awareness. Some friendships naturally fall away, not because of conflict, but because they were built on shared masks rather than true connection. Other relationships deepen, becoming more authentic as you bring more of your real self to them. And new connections appear, often with others who are also doing this soul work. You find yourself drawn to different conversations now. Less interest in gossip or status updates, more curiosity about the deeper currents of life. What gives existence meaning? How do we face our mortality? What wishes of the soul have we left unfulfilled? These aren't abstract philosophical questions anymore. They're vital inquiries that arise from your lived experience. The mirror shows you something else too. Glimpses of all the people you've been throughout your life. The eager child, the rebellious teenager, the striving young adult, the parent, the professional, the seeker. They're all still there, layered within you like growth rings in a tree. But now there's less need to identify with any single version. You can hold them all with compassion, understanding how each phase served its purpose in bringing you here. Your relationship with time itself is changing. While the ego lives in linear time, always rushing toward the next achievement or looking back with regret, the soul moves in cycles and spirals. It knows that every ending contains a beginning, that loss and renewal are part of the same dance. You're learning to trust this deeper timing, to feel the rightness of your own unfolding. Even your creativity is different now. Instead of striving to be original or impressive, you create from a place of necessity and truth. Whether it's writing, gardening, cooking, or simply arranging flowers in a vase, there's less concern with the outcome and more joy in the process itself. The soul expresses itself not to gain approval, but because expression is its nature. You're discovering that wisdom isn't about accumulating knowledge, it's about surrendering to mystery. The more you age, the more comfortable you become with not knowing, with holding paradox, with letting life be as complex and unresolvable as it truly is. There's relief in this surrender, a letting go of the need to have everything figured out. The body's changes, which once felt like betrayals, now reveal themselves as invitations to a different kind of strength. Not the strength of pushing through or powering over, but the strength of adapting, of finding new ways to move through the world, of learning to receive help when needed. This, too, is soul work, the humble recognition of our interdependence, our vulnerability, our shared humanity. Jung spoke of individuation, the process of becoming your unique self, as the task of a lifetime. But what you're learning is that this uniqueness isn't about standing out or being special. It's about fully inhabiting your particular way of being human, with all its limitations and gifts, its wounds and wisdom. The soul reveals itself in unexpected ways as you age. Sometimes it speaks through illness, forcing you to slow down and reassess your priorities. Sometimes it appears in dreams, offering images of transformation and renewal. Sometimes it shows up in synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences that suggest a deeper order beneath the surface of things. You're learning to read these signs not as random events, but as a sacred language, the way your soul communicates its needs and intentions. The ache in your joints might be asking you to move differently through life. The recurring dream of water might be inviting you to dive deeper into your emotions. Even memory loss can be seen as the soul's way of helping you release what's no longer essential. There's grief in this journey, certainly. Grief for the passing of youth, for the dreams that didn't materialize, for the people who aren't here to witness your becoming. But it's a different kind of grief now, not the sharp pain of resistance, but the tender ache of acceptance. You're learning that grief and gratitude can coexist. That loss can open doors to unexpected grace. Your prayer life has changed too. Gone are the bargaining prayers of youth, the desperate pleading for specific outcomes. Now prayer feels more like a conversation with mystery, a quiet alignment with what is. Sometimes it's wordless, just the steady rhythm of your breath, the beating of your heart, the simple recognition of being held within something larger than yourself. The soul speaks in symbols, and aging provides plenty of them. The gradual dimming of eyesight might invite you to develop different ways of seeing. The slowing of metabolism might be asking you to digest life more thoroughly. Even the thinning of skin can be read as an invitation to become more sensitively attuned to what matters most. You're learning to welcome these metaphors, to see your life as a living poem rather than a problem to be solved. Each limitation becomes a doorway, each loss an opportunity for deeper presence, each moment of forgetfulness a chance to remember what's truly essential. This is the soul's alchemy, the mysterious process by which limitation becomes liberation, weakness becomes wisdom, and aging becomes awakening. It doesn't happen all at once, and it doesn't happen without struggle. But gradually, steadily, like water wearing away stone, time reveals the essential shape of who you are. You begin to understand that the soul's journey isn't about reaching a destination. It's about coming into right relationship with everything. Your body, your memories, your limitations, your gifts, your place in the great web of life. Aging provides the perfect conditions for this deep reconciliation. The mirror reflects something different now, not just the marks of time, but the luminous presence that shines through them. You're beginning to see what Jung meant when he spoke of the self. Not the ego self that strives and achieves, but the deeper self that holds all the paradoxes of existence in a larger embrace. This is what aging reveals about the soul, that it was never lost, never diminished, never in need of improvement. It was simply waiting for you to wear through all your pretenses, to exhaust your strategies of control and achievement, to finally become quiet enough to hear its steady voice. And in that quietness, something remarkable happens. You discover that the very things you feared about aging, the slowing down, the limitations, the inevitable losses, are actually doorways to a deeper kind of freedom. The freedom to be exactly who you are, where you are, as you are. This is your soul's season. The culture may worship youth, but your inner knowing has a different message. You are exactly on time. Everything, the losses and gains, the wisdom and wounds, the strength and surrender, all of it has been preparation for now, for this exquisite unfolding of your truest self. You're not aging, you're becoming. And in this becoming, you're discovering what Jung meant when he said that the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Not who you were, not who others expect you to be, but who you are in your essence, unique, complex, ever-changing, and eternally true. The mirror reflects this truth now, not just a face marked by time, but a soul gradually revealing itself through the very process you once feared. And in that reflection, you finally recognize yourself, not as you wish to be, but as you truly are. This is the gift of aging, the slow, beautiful unveiling of your essential nature, the quiet triumph of soul over pretense, the deepening mystery of becoming more fully human with each passing year. And in this deepening journey, you begin to understand something profound about time itself. It's not your enemy. It's the very medium through which your soul expresses itself. Like a master artist working with clay, time shapes you with exquisite attention to detail, knowing exactly what needs to be smoothed away and what needs to be brought into sharper relief. The wisdom traditions have always known this. They speak of aging not as decline, but as ripening, just as fruit needs time to develop its full sweetness. The human soul needs the slow alchemy of years to reveal its essential nature. You couldn't have rushed this process any more than you could have rushed the turning of seasons. There's a peculiar kind of peace that comes with this understanding. The urgent striving that characterized your younger years begins to settle. You find yourself less interested in achieving milestones and more drawn to marking moments. The way morning light falls across your garden, the sound of rain on the roof, the feeling of your grandchild's small hand in yours. Jung spoke of this as the transition from the morning to the afternoon of life. In the morning, we build the external structures of our lives, career, relationships, identity. But in the afternoon, we turn toward different questions. What does it all mean? What remains when the roles and achievements fall away? What is my soul asking of me now? These questions don't come with easy answers. They're more like companions on the journey, gentle provocations that keep you growing, learning, evolving. You're discovering that spiritual maturity isn't about having it all figured out. It's about being comfortable with the questions themselves. Your relationship with your own history is changing too. Those old regrets and might-have-beens that used to haunt you, they're softening into something more like appreciation for the complex tapestry of your life. Even the mistakes and wrong turns can be seen as necessary parts of your soul's curriculum. You notice how your presence affects others differently now. Young people seek you out not for advice exactly, but for the quiet permission you give them to be themselves. There's something about someone who has stopped pretending that helps others drop their own masks. This, too, is soul work, creating spaces where authenticity can flourish. The body continues its conversation with time, speaking in the language of aches and limitations. But even here, there's wisdom to be found. Each physical change invites you to adapt, to find new ways of moving through the world, to accept help when needed. The soul knows that vulnerability is not weakness. It's the doorway to genuine connection. Your dreams have taken on a different quality. Instead of the anxious rehearsals of younger years, they speak in deeper symbols. Ancient houses, flowing water, unknown rooms in familiar buildings. These are the soul's way of showing you the vast territories still waiting to be explored within yourself. You're learning to trust these inner messages, to follow their guidance, even when it leads you away from conventional paths. Sometimes the soul's calling is to step back rather than forward, to turn inward rather than outward, to choose depth over achievement. The mirror continues its honest conversation with you. Beyond the physical changes, you see something else now, a gathering presence, a deepening light, the accumulated wisdom of all your years shining through your eyes. This is what Jung meant when he spoke of the self emerging through the process of individuation. You understand now that aging isn't something that happens to you. It's something that happens through you. It's the soul's way of gradually revealing itself, using time as its faithful collaborator. Each year brings you closer not to an ending, but to an essence that was always there, waiting to be discovered. There's a freedom in this recognition that you couldn't have imagined in your younger years. The freedom to be imperfect, to be unfinished, to be exactly who you are in this moment. The freedom to let go of the constant striving for improvement and simply allow yourself to be. Your prayer life reflects this shift. Instead of asking for specific outcomes, you find yourself opening to mystery, to the vast unknown that holds all of life. Sometimes prayer becomes as simple as paying attention to your breath, to the beating of your heart, to the quiet presence that underlies all things. This is what aging reveals about the soul, that it was never broken, never lost, never in need of fixing. It was simply waiting for you to wear through all your defenses, to exhaust your strategies of control, to finally become quiet enough to hear its steady voice. And in that quietness, you discover what the wisdom traditions have always taught, that the soul's journey isn't about reaching a destination. It's about coming home to yourself, about recognizing the sacred nature of ordinary moments, about finding meaning not in what you achieve, but in how fully you show up for your own life. This is your soul's season. While the world rushes forward in its endless pursuit of youth and novelty, you're learning to move at a different pace, to trust a different kind of timing. The soul knows exactly when to initiate its deeper work, when to bring things to completion, when to open new doors of perception. You're not aging, you're awakening. Each day brings you closer to the essence of who you are, who you've always been beneath the masks and roles and careful performances. This is what your soul has been waiting for, this gentle surrender into authenticity, this graceful letting go of all that isn't truly yours. The mirror reflects this truth now, not just a face marked by time, but a soul gradually revealing itself through the very process you once feared. And in that reflection, you finally recognize yourself, not as you wish to be, but as you truly are. This is the gift of aging. The slow, beautiful unveiling of your essential nature, the quiet triumph of soul over pretense, the deepening mystery of becoming more fully human with each passing year. This is your journey now, not forward into endless achievement or backward in yearning for lost youth, but inward into the rich territory of the soul. And in this territory, every line on your face is a story worth telling, every limitation a doorway to deeper wisdom, every moment an opportunity to finally, fully become yourself. For this is what the soul has known all along, that time is not your enemy, but your ally, that aging is not a decline, but a ripening, that everything you've experienced has been preparation for this moment of profound awakening to who you truly are.